Good morning, YouTubers. Welcome to Twisted Pine today. Today we are going to go over using the Grapple. And if you haven't noticed, we've got some new video capabilities today with 360 views. So you can click on the screen and move the view around and take a look at the sky, the ground, behind the tractor, to the sides of the tractor, and everywhere. So feel free to roam around, take a look around today while we discuss how to use this Grapple on the John Deere 3025E. Hey, welcome to Twisted Pine. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be my first time to narrate a video, so bear with me if I just sound totally stupid. But hey, we're going to talk about this Grapple that's going right now. As you can see, I'm trying to pick out of this one pile that the dozer piled up after we had a bunch of pine knocked down. This is the front of the property where the house is going to be, and there's not going to be any pine out in front of the house. It's all going to be oak. We decided that, if you watched the video earlier, because we couldn't get any wind to blow through there. It was so thick with yopon and pine and the oak that it just was burning in there. No wind was coming through at all, and it was a smelter in heat. So we just decided to have the dozer come in and take down all the pine on the front side, all the yopon, and we're just plucking out everything out of these piles and making it into burn piles. The reason I'm actually plucking this out where it's at now and not just burning it right there is because that pile's too close to a couple of these oaks, and I'm afraid the burning of the pile will cause damage to the oaks and might kill them later. We really focused on making sure the dozer didn't get up underneath the canopy of the oak trees, because we didn't want any root damage and we didn't want any problems with the oak trees dying later from the dozer. So we kept the dozer out. He used a root rake too to come in and get a lot of the yopon roots, and we just didn't want any of the roots from the oak trees dying, so we kept him away. That means these piles were too close to the oak tree, and I needed to pluck them out and get them onto a good burn pile that's far enough away where it won't do any damage. But if you'll see, I'm running this root rake on this Grapple. It's the Armstrong AGR mini Grapple on my John Deere 3025E, which is a compact tractor, but it's 25 horsepower, and right now I'm in four-wheel drive low, and I'm running about 2,000 RPM, and that's a good running range to do just normal root raking work and grapple work. I've had this Grapple on the tractor since the day I bought it, and it has been on the front of this tractor since the day I bought it, and I've had it, I want to say, 1.5 to 2 years now. It's got around 200 hours on it now, and the loader, which came with it, has probably been on it a total of maybe 5 hours, because we've been using this tractor to clear. As you can see right there, I'm pushing the bottom tines of the Grapple through the dirt about 6 to 10 inches under the dirt, and that's just picking up any of those sticks and stones, anything that's been underneath the dirt, any roots that are right there that I can get out, pushing them out of the dirt and just grabbing them and balling them in a ball. Right now I'm trying to pluck some more wood out of the pile. Sometimes the pile is just so thick and so heavy that the tractor can't get it to come out. So we'll do what we can do, grab little pieces, move them around. This piece is a pretty good sized piece, so I'm going to go ahead and move it over and stick it on the pile. This is the burn pile. It's far enough away from that oak that the flame, which gets really high, it can get up to 20 feet sometimes. And if it was right underneath that oak tree, it'd burn those limbs and cook them right underneath there, and that might cause enough damage that oak might be severely stressed and have problems later on. But right now I'll use the front part of the Grapple to grab in there and grab it and pull out. And what I get to pull out, I'll just keep pulling and plucking away. Some things come out, some don't. If you can't get it one way, you go in with a different angle and grab it. And you can move your mouse around and watch my hand, how I'm running the joystick. And it's a little bit of finesse. the first day you get your tractor and you get on it with a grapple, you're not going to really know. It's going to take you a little time to get it down. But once you get it down, it's going to be really, really good. You can really work a mess like this. This is a mess. It's typically a pile like this, you just light it right there and let it burn right there in a clearing. But if it's that close to an oak tree, you don't want to burn it that close. I blame myself. I was there. I should have known better. I should have had the dozer operator move it farther away from the tree. And the dozer could have pushed that whole pile far enough away where we could have lit it right there and wouldn't have had a problem. I wasn't thinking about it at the time. But trust me, I've learned from now on, next time I have the dozer operator out there, I'm going to have him move the pile where I can burn it much easier while I'm having him out there, because he can do it much better. I'm going to have him come out here again. There's another section out there that I need to get burned and get done. I need to have him take it down so I can burn it and get it out of the way. It's basically, like I've always said, the front part of this property is like a half of a circle or a half moon, and this is a quarter of the half moon. The other quarter of the half moon, you're kind of looking, it's to the right of the tractor now. You probably can't see it in 360 mode, but it's kind of behind me where I'm at now. So if you look behind me, you'll see a lot of cedar, and there's some that's what's going to be in there. That's going to all come down too. Here's another good sized piece. I'm going to go ahead and throw that on the pile. I'm just going to keep working this pile slowly but surely. Oh, I remember now that limb hit the camera. Can't really tell in the video, because the great thing about 360 is it really keeps the video looking pretty nice. Even if the camera moves, it drops down. So that was me just adjusting the camera right there. We'll get back on this pile now. Now that you've had a good look at my fat face, we'll get back into this and grab some more wood out of here and get it ready to burn. Yep, there's that stick. I wasn't going to have that happen again. I'll let the grapple take care of him this time. Now you can see right here, I'm really pulling out some big pieces. The 3025E is really underrated. I mean, it's got a lot more power than you would think for a 25 horsepower tractor, but the hydraulics are the same whether you have a 25 or a 32 or a 38. Yeah, the hydraulics are the same, and it has the same power as the 38 horsepower 3E series. So you put it in four-wheel drive in this kind of terrain, put it in four-wheel drive, low gear, get it up to 2,000 for this. If you're doing something really, really tough, you go ahead and put it all the way up to 2,500 RPM. But 2,000 is good RPM for running the grapple with this kind of mess, and you just keep running that grapple, pulling and plucking. I don't know that the video really does justice to how big some of these trunks of pine are. They're pretty big around. They're pretty stout. I've got some pine I know that I'm lifting that's 1,200 to 1,500 pounds, and that you'll see later some of these trees. They're dang near whole trees just de-limbed, and it's picking them up and moving them around. Man, it was a beautiful day to be out there working too. Beautiful day. What I'm doing there is still pushing that junk limbs and stuff into one little pile. I'll move all the little limbs and stuff, put them in one pile right there, and then later I'll come back and roll them around with the front and the back side of the grapple so I can get a good bite on a bunch of them and put them on top of the pile. Those little limbs will light up quicker, and they'll help the bigger pieces of wood to light and finally burn. Yep, reach in there with the top of the grapple, fold it down and bite and pull it out. Then fold it, pull all that little stuff out until you can get a hold of a bigger piece. Just keep backing up, pulling and rolling it around. And then I'm going to just get from the bottom, roll them bottom tines through a couple of inches of the dirt, push it up. That's why they call it a root rake. Kind of gets in there a couple of inches under the ground. You get something really solid, it'll stop you in your tracks. You get a good yopon that's 5 or 6 inches thick with a good root structure. Them bottom tines hit it, you'll stop dead in your tracks. You'll know you got it. So just pay attention to what you're doing and be careful. Got some good amount right here. We'll throw that on the burn pile. I'll be quiet here and just let you watch what's going on. Again, feel free to use your mouse or your finger, or if you're using it on your phone, just turn your phone from one side to the next and you take a look around the whole area there where we're working. Let's listen to some music while we're watching this thing go.
I'm on the way in, go.
Man, that was some good music there. I really love listening to some good music while I'm watching some videos. But you see that big old piece there? I just pulled it out. And then I kind of using the grapple, roll it, kind of push it along like a dozer, but grab hold of it, move it around. This piece is really big to be finagling, but you can use the grapple, get it over onto the pile, and then later come back with a chainsaw and cut the ends that are sticking out off and then move them and throw them on the pile. But it's easier just to move it over and get it over there and then come back later and cut off the pieces. Hopefully I got a buddy, Jesse's going to come over. He'll run a chainsaw while I'm doing this and cut pieces up, and I'll be able to move them. You can see right there I'm trying to crack it and break it in half with the grapple. Sometimes you can just push up and down on it with a tractor and use a tractor's weight, and it'll just break in two, and then you can grab it and throw it on there and not even have to mess with the chainsaw. But that's too strong, can't do it, so we're just going to go back to the pile and start grabbing again. Get some more of this pile. You're always going to want to clean up smaller debris and limbs like this. Just push them up, keep pushing and moving them around, getting it cleaned up. Work as you go, because you're going to be driving over that mess to get to the bigger pieces if you don't. So you kind of work your way in, dig down, pull them out, then dig down, then pull them out. And when you get enough where you can get a bite with a grapple, and get a bite, pick it up, move it out of the way. If it's a big enough piece like this one, just go ahead and take it over and throw it on the burn pile. You can get it done. It just takes time sometimes. And if you're in a hurry, well, then, you might want a bigger piece of equipment to come through here and take care of this. But if you're like me and you've bought your land and you just want to kind of get it cleared out, and you don't want to pay somebody a fortune to clear your land, and you're not in a rush, you can take your time, use a grapple and tractor, and have a dozer come in when you need to, or a skid steer come in with a mulcher and clean up some. Yeah, putting that front end, top end of the grapple down and just really digging in and pulling out. That cleans up really good. When I'm doing that, sometimes I'll push the controls up into float mode, which basically means wherever the front part is angled down towards, the actual arms that lift and raise the grapple are in float mode, which means they just kind of glide over the ground, and the weight of the grapple then does the rest of the work. That's a good way to do it. It doesn't put the weight of the tractor on it. It doesn't put a lot of stress on the hydraulics, and it makes a nice clean drag sometimes. So sometimes that's the way to go. If you really want to get in there deep, then you just don't go all the way up into float mode with the handle, and you just push down with the loader arms, which will push the front tines down into the dirt pretty deep, and you use the weight of the tractor when you're backing up to really dig down through there. Got a good bite here. I'm probably going to take this over to the burn pile and go ahead and throw it on there, and we'll come back in for another bite. So let's listen to some more music. We do some more clearing.
On her skirt, Paul Mitchell is in her hair, Johnny Cash on her black t-shirt, Target sells her underwear. Her pimped up Ford truck, blaring gangster rap, iced lattes from Starbucks, a Coach bag and a John Deere cap. No rodeo drive, just rodeos. Dixie living is what she calls home. Gucci hat, Skinner tag, yeah, she's looking good. No place she'd rather be than living in hillbilly Hollywood. Walmart, gold car, yeah, the price is good. No place she'd rather be than living in hillbilly Hollywood. He goes to a half-acre church with a 50-foot jumbotron. He spells out the sacred words. Jesus is the man who can get her done. He hunts big bucks, checking his MySpace. Hot yoga and some nip and tuck, bass fishing and a NASCAR race. Southern ways will never change, even in the heart of the second LA. Birdshot, bow ties, man, it shoots so good. No place I'd rather be than living in hillbilly Hollywood. Tofu, barbecue, man, it tastes so good. No place I'd rather be than living in hillbilly Hollywood. Hillbilly Hollywood. Hey man, look at that dude with his mega mullet and his Oakley shades.
And that girl, Rocky Top, is the ringtone on her BlackBerry.
Yeah. Woo-hoo. Yeah. Captain D's Sushi, both in my neighborhood. No place I'd rather be than living in hillbilly Hollywood. Country rock, hip hop, man, it sounds so good. No place I'd rather be than living in hillbilly Hollywood. Green hills, record deals, man, life is good. No place I'd rather be than Nashville, hillbilly Hollywood. Hillbilly Hollywood.
Well, that was some good music. Now we're back around to doing some more work on this north side of the pile. Now there's a little break in there. I had to do a little bit of self-maintenance. I had to get a drink, you know, take care of some things, get back on the tractor. We're getting around. There's some big old pieces on this side of the pile over here. We're going to pluck out, move over to the pile. You want to be careful when you get these big pieces, because you can start lifting the big ones and they'll actually be heavier than the tractor can handle, and they'll start even with the box blade on the back as counterweight. They'll start lifting the back of the tractor up, and if you're on uneven ground or you're a little cannywampus, it'll tilt the tractor over and try to tip it over. So you got to be careful all the time when you're on the tractor. You want to be careful when you're lifting things that are heavy and digging things, because it can get the tractor off canter and possibly tip the tractor over on one side. So you want to be careful all the time when you're doing this. And when you're running the grapple, you got one way on the switch that closes the grapple and one way that opens it. And you always want to be mindful when you're picking heavy stuff up that if the tractor starts to get off canter or in the realm of where it might tip, flip that switch the other way and open the grapple and let whatever you're lifting drop. Let the tractor come back down on all four tires. So when you're lifting things with a grapple, you always kind of want to be mindful and lift things where you can drop them right back down if you get too heavy of an object. Right here I'm box blading, backing up, getting a little mound of dirt, pushing it back into a hole. That hole was causing the tractor to tilt to one side real bad whenever I was lifting something heavy. So if you're working and you're picking up something heavy and it's causing the tractor to lean over or tilt over, you can go back in and fix your surface area that you're working and give yourself a better area to work from, so that you don't have any holes that's automatically making your tractor tilt to one side, and just compounds worse when you pick up something heavy. So if you're picking up something heavy and the ground's soft and it's tilting the tractor, then take a stop from lifting, go back around with that box blade that you have on the back that you're using also as counterweight, and use that box blade to push dirt into that hole and kind of repair the hole a little bit before you get back over lifting something heavy. That's the best way to save yourself from getting in some real trouble out there. This piece right here, I'm just kind of pulling. Sometimes you don't have to lift it. You can just get that front part of the grapple, which is actually the top of the grapple, twist it all the way down to where it can get a bite, and not actually lift it up, but just roll it and pull it out. And you see I'm going to roll this piece on out of the pile. You don't have to lift everything. Some things are just too heavy, and it might be better to roll it around. And you can use the tractor and the grapple to roll it around and accomplish the same thing, but you're making do with maybe a smaller piece of equipment like I am all the time. I didn't buy the biggest tractor I could have bought. I wanted this size tractor for the lifetime that I'm going to be living out here, and I didn't need a big tractor once I got what was cleared and cut up and burnt. What was I going to do with a big old tractor other than have a big tractor that cost more than I needed? So this tractor, I bought it. It's big enough to do what I need to do, and you use it smart, you can get a lot done with it that you can get done with a bigger tractor without the bigger tractor cost. Learning how to use your grapple and equipment. Right here, I tried to bite the end of the stick a few times and it kept coming out of the grapple. There's an old saying, there's more than one way to skin a cat, which I don't know what that means, really. I never even thought about skinning a cat. I don't know why anybody would want to skin a cat. I love cats. I like my lovely Sasha, my kitty. But pulling this thing out like that, plucking it out. There's one of my neighbors driving by. Everybody's... Oh, that's Jesse driving in. That's my buddy's going to come help run the chainsaw. So you take that thing and just pull it out a little bit where it's all out of the pile, and then grab it from another way and move it around. Just keep doing the best you can do. Right here, I just grabbed that root ball, which is the heaviest part of this. Push it around. I'll let the grapple grab hold of that if I can, but usually I'll roll it around, grab hold of it, lift it a little bit, and then use the tractor to push it around. And then you can use the bottom tines on the grapple sometimes and just stick them into it and let it drag along the side of the grapple. You'll pull it along and use the tractor and push it along, and it'll just drag it over to where you need to go, and then you can pick it up and stick it on. Maybe that's what I'm going to do here. There you go. Yeah, stick it with that bottom tine on the grapple and just kind of push it and move it. Move that thing around. You're really moving forward and back a lot doing this, and this is where a hydrostatic transmission really shines. Forward and backward, and just running the grapple and the loader at the same time, and a hydrostatic transmission just really shines right now, because you can forward and reverse and you don't have to change gears, because the same hand that you're running the loader and the grapple with would be the same thing you'd be changing from gears from forward to reverse. And right now you can keep your hands on that loader stick and just foot pedal it forward and reverse. It works really great.
Okay. Well, we had a little dilemma. This is the first time this ever happened in all the time we've been out here clearing. But somehow a stick got in here and busted the valve off of the wheel. So now it's leaked all the air out. So what we're going to do now is jack it up with the loader, take this wheel off, and go get a new valve stem put in it and air it back up. It must have been when we were rolling and a stick got in there and hit that valve stem and just the right angle and plucked it out. So hey, if you're doing this kind of work, something's always going to break, something's always going to happen. So let's get it jacked up and fixed. All right, well, we got the tire off. You see, we just use a loader to lift it up. It's completely in the air now. Tire come off pretty easy. So we're gonna take it up there and get a new valve stem, put it in, air it back up, and put it back on and get back to work.
Well, we got the valve stem put in. Everything's all good to go. Got a little bit of work left to do here. I know you are tired of hearing me run my flap, so instead I'll just put some good music on, let y'all watch a little more of the grapple work, and let that play out with a good song. So y'all watch some grapple work, listen to some good music, and be sure to like and subscribe, and watch for more 360 video out of Twisted Pine. We're going to do some four-wheeling, get some 360 video on there, and soon, hopefully soon, we're going to be at 500 subscribers. We're going to have a little giveaway at 500 subscribers. I have to say that carefully because I'm definitely not drunk, but sometimes I slur. Anyway, when I'm speaking, I guess my country redneck comes out. But at 500 subscribers, we're going to have a giveaway. And so look for that. But let's listen to some good music, and watch some more grapple work. Man, that John Deere 3025E and the Armstrong Mini Grapple, they get after it, don't it? Let's listen and watch.
You've been watching romance movies, thinking about the could-be's and wishing that it would be true. You've been staring at the ceiling, dreaming that you're feeling all the things that lovers do. Someday love will come, hit you hard and make you numb. Someday love will come your way. Sunshine will come. Someday that sunshine will come. Someday the sunlight will break through the clouds and make it alright. Someday that sunshine will come. Sign up online where they line up all wrapped up and ready to go. You've been reaching the conclusion that it's all an illusion and love is something you'll never know. Someday love will come, hit you hard and make you numb. Someday love will come your way. Sunshine will come. Someday that sunshine will come. Someday the sunlight will break through the clouds and make it alright. Someday that sunshine will come. Heart is aching and you think they've all been taken. Remember, he is out there too. It seems that he's been waiting, still anticipating meeting someone just like you. Someday love will come, hit you hard and make you numb. Someday love will come your way. Sunshine will come. Someday that sunshine will come. that sunshine will come